Mr. Moore?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Secretary Lutnick, for being here. Really appreciate it. A lot of your comments are just so spot on. Just a little while ago, we heard something pretty interesting. The idea that trade deficits are good. We heard an example of, I guess, a banana, the price of a banana at a Whole Foods outside of suburban Philadelphia going up. I can tell you in West Virginia what the generational price has been for the degradation and destruction of our industries in the state of West Virginia over the last several decades, 40 years of it. It has destroyed us. It's destroyed us. And you talked about this blast furnace switcheroo that they had there in the UK. That happened to us in West Virginia. So Cleveland Cliffs and the United Steelworkers Union had requested tariffs on tinplate steel from the Biden administration. We didn't get it. We didn't get the tariffs on the tinplate steel, and we shuttered that steel plant. We've lost thousands of jobs since then, and now there's only one blast furnace left in the whole United States that makes tinplate steel. And I would appreciate it if the Commerce Department would take a look at that, because that is a national security issue, and it's terrible for us. I mean, we used to be known for manufacturing steel. It was hugely disappointing by the last administration not taking any action on that. But I do want to ask this, just shifting gears real quickly, is BIS specifically, and you've talked about plussing up that budget. Have you all looked at, and this is during the Obama administration, we went through the Export Control Reform Initiative. This is where they created the 600 series and the ECCNs, and then expanded EAR 99, right? So there's a lot more items that can go out without a license under that. Have you all looked at going back and reviewing that? I actually worked here when we were going through that process, and it seemed, I guess, to make sense at the time. But you do see that it has created, at times, in my view, some gaps as it relates to critical technology. Have you all looked at perhaps reviewing that Export Control Reform Initiative happened about a decade ago and maybe trying to tighten up some of those export controls, specifically on critical dual-use technology?
Very thoughtful point, right on the point, and we are on that topic. We are on it.
Yeah, it occurs to me, particularly when we created the 600 series, which is essentially like a United States Munitions Light series within the Department of Commerce under BIS. This is how some of our defense technology gets out there. And it's very... It's very disappointing. Obviously, this is not the idea, is that, we wanted to increase export capacity for defense manufacturers and others out there, but specifically around some of this off-the-shelf technology, EAR 99 items that are getting exported, I would really like if you all would take a look at this and the way this was set up back then and trying to tighten those controls. BIS is, really the last stop in protecting our technology. Could you talk, though, just briefly, you talked about the steel industry. Could you talk about, from a national security standpoint, why it is so important? You touched on it a little bit, but why it is so important to the national security of the United States to have a vibrant steel industry?
You cannot fight a war unless you can make the munitions, period. You can't make a missile without steel, aluminum. You can't produce anything in defense without steel and aluminum. You must have a domestic industry. The president has made it crystal clear, and I think it is obvious when I say it. And we need to protect it, just like you said in West Virginia. They didn't protect you, and you lost the business. That cannot continue, and the Trump administration will not allow it to continue.
Yeah, and then they just raised the price of tinplate steel right after they acquired it. So,
of course,
after they crushed it. Last real quick question. One issue that I'm concerned about is transformers in this country, which we don't have a great domestic capacity in terms of manufacturing. There's actually one manufacturer of electrical steel in the United States right now, and one, maybe a couple, that can actually manufacture transformers. Myself and others in the Steel Caucus, a few of us sent a letter, obviously not your department, but asking for Defense Production Act to be invoked around that. Is this something that your department's looking at all as it relates to transformers?
We are now.
Okay. That's a great answer, and with that, I yield back. Thank you.